Hi, welcome to the Theater on the Ridge in Rochester, New York. And we are still getting ready for a news conference here. We are running about 10 minutes behind, so they're telling us that in about 4 or 5 more minutes we should get underway with live coverage of this event. I'm Bud Lowell here at what is presently called Theater on the Ridge, but in a few minutes is going to have a new name and a whole new purpose. And in a moment we'll be telling you all about it, so please stay with us.
I think everyone is seated. Hi, I'll introduce myself. My name is Arlene Liberty. I'm the manager of Kodak Rochester Facilities and work with Mike Alt here at Eastman Business Park. And we'd like to welcome you and thank you so much for taking the time this morning to join us. We're very, very excited about this partnership and opportunity that the Rochester Association for Performing Arts will be bringing to us in partnership with Kodak. And thinking about what's so important for us today and the reasons why we're so excited is, one is RAPA obviously has the capabilities, such good community experience in terms of bringing events in, concerts and plays and so much more, and we're really very excited to be able to utilize this theater as it should be. Secondly, the Maplewood community. The neighborhood is so important to Kodak and to the city. And so bringing business back into the neighborhood to be vibrant and to have restaurants and different venues, I think is, again, and also going to be a really strong benefit. And then needless to say, what we're trying to do with Eastman Business Park in terms of growing the park and enhancing its use, I think, again, will benefit in this regard. So again, very, very excited about this. We, again, thank you for coming today. It's with my pleasure that I share with you a video clip that we're going to be showing in a few seconds. This is really, when you think about George Eastman and the vision that he had for Eastman Business Park and the footprint here and what has evolved over the years, I think this will properly reflect where we've been and where we're going. So if you could, please.
He became the iconic figure of a city's identity. The legacy of George Eastman is intertwined with the cultural institutions he left behind. Eastman's fortunes enrich the community, making Rochester renowned for its generosity, compassion, creativity, quality of life. One of those community treasures is in the spotlight again, taking shape as the result of a unique public-private collaboration, returning to center stage a community resource. Welcome to the new Kodak Center for Performing Arts.
I think it's a hidden treasure of Rochester. The main purpose that we see is to make this into a true community asset.
Soon, the lights will go up, the curtains will rise, and the actors and performers will work their creative magic on the city's largest stage. Kodak, together with the Rochester Association of Performing Arts, is pleased to once again welcome the world. Welcome to the Kodak Center for Performing Arts.
Thank you. Thank you. So it's my honor and pleasure to introduce to you Jim Volertson, President and CEO of RAPA, and the new manager here of Kodak Center for Performing Arts. Jim?
Thank you, Arlene.
Thank you. Excuse me.
We want to thank everyone for attending today. It's certainly an exciting day for us, for the Rochester Association of the Performing Arts, and all the things we're going to be able to announce today. A little quick background on RAPA. We've been around since 1979. We originally, our main function, we're a school for the performing arts, and we're the oldest consecutively funded arts organization in Western New York through the New York State Council of the Arts. Putting this together, it started about a year ago when I became CEO of RAPA actually 2 years ago, but we started to form a new vision for RAPA, and I brought on our new artistic director and a new team for RAPA to really go forward. And I want to introduce her today, Judith Ranaletta, many of you know, and John Nympho, the two people that really were my inspiration that said, we got to move RAPA forward. Judith, just take a quick wave, and John. As many of you know, Judith was forever I say forever, 29 years, the artistic director of theater and music down at Greece Athena High School. And Judith actually did many, many major productions on this stage before Greece built their theater. And when we started to get together and put the new vision of RAPA together, after I saw the incredible work, which I knew that's why I wanted to bring her to RAPA, that presentations we were able to do, I said, you know, Judith, our little 240-seat theater, which we're very proud of down on Main Street, is not quite big enough for what we want to do. So just about a year ago, I said, maybe we could go rent Kodak. And I walked in the door one day, and the guard said to me, well, we really don't rent the theater anymore, and we aren't sure what the future is going to be of Kodak Theater. And I was a little taken back, but I'm a person that doesn't give up. And so I struck up a conversation with the guard, and she said, well, let me see if I can find someone. So she finally reached out to Fran, who was her first day on the job as overseeing what was going to happen to this theater. And we laugh about it because it was a year ago that Fran came up and we met, and we had a conversation, and I said, we've got to develop this. We can't let this go away. So we spent about 8 months, and I thank Fran, Doug Olbach, and Jim Murphy, which were the Kodak team that really saw my vision and let us put this package together. And it took from September of last year till April of this year to really develop the plan to go forward. And we did back in June sign a long-term lease to operate this facility. So we're very excited about this. You know, putting this whole package together and Eastman Business Park, we really look at this as the centerpiece of the new Eastman Business Park and the things we're going to tell you about we're going to do today. But certainly without the help of New York State and Governor Cuomo and their involvement in Eastman Business Park, as you know, the governor's made this his #1 priority. So I've got a couple people who are very important to putting this whole package together. I'd like to say a few words. First of all, Joe Roebuck, our state senator.
Thank you, Jim. Good morning, everybody. I'm delighted to be here. This is a wonderful announcement. We were here, interestingly, yesterday talking about all the jobs that are growing inside Eastman Business Park in the production area and the different clusters that are growing, which is wonderful. I think now above 4,000, which is good news that we are repurposing and still utilizing Eastman Business Park. This, to me, is just another great continuation of that. I am a Kodak kid through and through. Spent a lot of time in this theater for the then spring shows for those of you who are Kodakers. My parents were very active in the plays here, and I was in 2 plays myself, One Foot in Heaven, and one time my entire family was in the classic A Christmas Carol, where every member of my family, including aunts and uncles, were in it right here on the stage. So like my family, I should say, this has been a big part of a lot of the culture here, not only at Kodak, but in Rochester. And I'm glad as the business park moves forward that this collaboration with RAPA will really keep this theater, this great asset, part of our future as well. This is a great facility, a great building. This whole building 28, for those of you that aren't familiar, there's bowling alleys, all kinds of facilities in here, and I'm glad that Kodak is partnering with people in the community to make sure those things can still be utilized and be an asset. I think that's a win-win situation for everybody. So RAPA has a history of doing a great job. Judith, this whole team, I know there's a play coming up in here shortly with people with extra challenges, all kinds of good stuff on the horizon. I just want to thank everybody who helped put this together. It's wonderful stuff, and I know you'll continue to have success in the future. Thanks.
Joe, thank you very much, and I did not realize till today that you actually performed up on this magnificent stage, which incidentally is the biggest stage in Rochester. You're going to, in a couple minutes, you're going to see how big that stage is. And of course, the Assembly Majority Leader, Joe Morelli, has been very instrumental in putting this together. Joe, could you say a few words, please?
Good morning. When I was first invited, I thought that Joe Roebuck and I were doing a duet, which we have done previously in other stages. It sounds really, really bad, So I'm delighted not to have to perform with him, at least in that fashion. But I am delighted to be here this morning. I want to thank Jim for his leadership, and I have been associated with RAPA for many years. I also want to acknowledge in the audience is Vinny Esposito, who's the Regional Director of Empire State Development. And the reason I acknowledge Vinny is we have been working, all of us, Joe Robach, myself, folks from the Governor's Office, Vinny, certainly our friends at Kodak, the City of Rochester, the Lieutenant Governor's Office, on the redevelopment of this whole facility, Eastman Business Park, and it's so critically important to our region. And what makes today's announcement so important in my mind is one of the things that I had a chance to do in my career in the Assembly was chair the Committee on Tourism and Arts. And one of the great, I guess, advances in economic development thinking is how important arts and tourism are to economic development. And so the notion, as we look at the future development of the business park, is you'll have thousands and thousands and thousands of people working in the facilities that comprise Eastman Business Park. And this is going to be an innovation-driven economic development area. It's going to be about technology. And what we know is the availability of arts as a part of that scene is very, very important. Not something that many people would necessarily make the connection to, but it is critically important. And we have seen that the best communities in the country, those who have thrived, particularly in the new economy, are very closely associated with culture and arts. And so this combination, to be here, to be a part of this, and to have such great organizations like Eastman Kodak and RAPA come together and be a centerpiece of that, to me, is incredibly exciting. So I'm delighted to be here. I want to thank everyone involved for their leadership in putting it together. And as the video pointed out, I think George Eastman would rightly be proud about today's announcement and see this as a continuation of his philanthropy, his personal vision for Eastman Kodak and for the Rochester region. I'm delighted to be asked to be a part of it, and all I can say is Godspeed. I think I'm taking your notes with me.
Thank you. Thank you, Joe. Thank you. So as we started to develop this project, we started looking at, you're in the theater, which is certainly the focal point of this facility, but it's a huge facility. We have another theater downstairs, a 180-seat theater. We have a gymnasium that seats 950, which we're going to be using for exhibit space. We have 2 restaurants. And as a longtime theater person in Rochester, I was involved with the Auditorium Theater for 10 years. The biggest thing that I asset, besides the beautiful theater and the big stages, we have 1,400 parking spots right across the street. People are going to be able to come here and find a place to park. So as we took on this and we started looking at all the different positions, and we figured out, to run this building, we're going to have to create about 100 new jobs. Of course, we didn't forget, I came here a year ago to rent the space because I had a great artistic team and I wanted to put on a big production, so we haven't forgotten about that. We will be doing a combination of community projects, our partners like Steve's group, and of course Judith. We're going to be once again presenting RAPA. Will be doing full-scale musicals here. We'll be making an announcement very soon with our spring production, which we expect to be 42nd Street, a RAPA production. Now, no true performing arts center can be successful without a true Broadway series. So we sought, and we're very excited today to announce, we wanted a strong partner to produce those Broadway shows. And frankly, the best established, the ones that do more shows than anyone, is the Finger Lakes Music Theater Festival, the Merry-Go-Round Theaters. Many of you have probably attended shows over the year. I know I have for many, many years. And we're proud to announce today, and I want to bring up on stage Ed Sales, who is the producer, artistic director of Finger Lakes Music Theater Festival, our new partner who will be presenting our full Broadway series starting next spring and summer. Ed?
Thanks, Jim. A real honor to be here and to be included in this great partnership. Jim, thank you so much. Thanks to RAPA. Thanks to the Eastman Business Park. This is going to be a great adventure, which is exactly the words that our general manager, Brett Smock, said to me the day Jim called last June. said there's a man named Jim Vollertson on the phone. He sounds incredibly excited about an incredibly big idea, and he would like to involve us, and I am so grateful that happened. A little bit about the Playhouse. We were founded in 1958 as the Auburn Children's Theater. Then we became the Merry-Go-Round Playhouse. Now we're the Finger Lakes Musical Theater Festival, a professional theater performing for over 60,000 at our main spaces in Auburn, New York. We have 3 theaters, and on the road we perform for 120,000 children across upstate New York. We operate with agreements with all the major performing arts units, and we are about musicals, big musicals for everyone. We'll be bringing a whole season of here this summer, and we really look forward to that. But as I mentioned, it's a partnership, and we feel honored to be part of this partnership. RAPA, Eastman Business Park, Hillside. But it's also not only a partnership between organizations, but I believe this, and I am a lifetime upstater. Born here, went to school here, went to college here, raised my family here. And so I believe very much in upstate. And besides being a collaboration of artistic organizations, this is a partnership of 2 regions, 2 great regions in upstate New York. And both regions are going to win from this cooperation. And when 2 regions win, all of upstate New York wins. And when upstate New York wins, period. And we are so happy to be here at the beginning of a resurgence, the start of a new New York. Thanks so much for bringing us here. We look forward to being here all summer. Everybody celebrate today. It is a great day for the arts and for upstate New York. Thank you, Jim.
In your press kits that we passed out today, we do have our complete summer schedule. We open with Mary Poppins, which is going to be very spectacular, I can assure you. Well, that's our story. We appreciate your coming today. We're going to be around. You're going to see lots of big things. We have many, many more announcements. We didn't want this program to go on all day with all of our announcements. For the next few weeks, I think you're going to see many more exciting plans. I want to thank you, and I want to bring back up Arlene.
Thank you. Very, very exciting. Very exciting. So just in closing, again, I want to thank you for taking the time to be here today. We're really excited about this new partnership. And we'd also like just to invite you to a cake and coffee celebration we'll be having in our second floor cafeteria following this event, and just again celebrating our partnership with RAPA. So thank you again. Have a good day.
Joe, we're streaming right now on the internet, and we've just seen this news conference a few minutes ago. Tell me a little bit about what the state did to help make this possible.
Yeah, we've been working very closely with Eastman Business Park to make sure the environmental issues are cleaned up here at the park, that the park is ready to go and take on new people. And I would say I'm very pleased. I believe they're down to 3,900 Kodak employees, but I believe we're at 4,700 employees of other companies utilizing Kodak space. And of course, we want to be known for manufacturing every job. This part of Building 28, which I'm very familiar with, being a Kodak kid, as I said, not only has this wonderful theater behind us, which will be used for a host of things, can now become maybe part of our great jazz festival. It's getting known all across the Northeast and even the country. The many, many things we have here. This will be another platform in our great tourism. And I think we can even go above and beyond that for people that live here in Rochester. I know there's a roller skating rink, a pool hall, a bowling alley, all kinds of things here, a gym that is being utilized already by outside groups, and really polish these community assets that have been so great here at Building 28 and Eastman Business Park, which really, if you read the book or even look, this great building is no surprise. Kodak was such a paternalistic company in the good definition of the word, trying to make sure their employees were happy for so many years. Hopefully we can continue that legacy and that usage here.
You remember there was, in the, I guess what you'd have to call the classic period of Kodak, the community, the theater, the company, they all sort of drove each other. Now it looks like that synergy can start up again, different people running it on a different basis, but it should still be there, and that should be good.
Right. This will really just be community groups, other people utilizing this great space and making an asset for the community and being able to do a lot of good things here. So I'm very, very excited. RAPA is a great operator. They're a great fit. They've done a lot of other things. And, you know, I've already just walking out of here, was already talking about WDKX Radio, which I'm on Saturdays, is going to have their Christmas show here, which will be nice. We had to move that around in venues. And I know even the folks at the Martin Luther King Commission are looking at having that annual event here in Rochester. So this will really be now open to the community, really be a great, great thing. And I think something that will be utilized and, you know, kind of a gem that's got a little dusty, but now will get polished again.
Talk to me a little bit about the state's interest in the Eastman Business Park. It really has made basically preserving this as one of the biggest industrial sites east of the Mississippi, even though you wouldn't think so standing in this theater. The state has really made that a focus of its economic development for upstate.
Yes, certainly. We are doing everything we can to keep jobs in Rochester and upstate New York. Kodak has just emerged from a bankruptcy. We're wishing them well. But no matter whether they grow, stay the same, whatever happens, we know that this is a business park second to none, the largest, if not in the Northeast, in the entire country. So to have this be here empty and unutilized would be awful. Instead, we have Ledestri Foods, which has taken over all of West Kodak, which is growing in leaps and bounds. As a matter of fact, if you buy a jar of spaghetti sauce anywhere in this country, there's about a 75% chance it was made right here in Rochester by them. We have the energy cluster, the battery cluster, storage. Now we're looking at fermentation and other things that can grow. Kingsbury is starting a touchscreen business here, which is a huge market. We hope from that acorn, the mighty oak will come if they can even capture a limited part. They'll not only utilize space here that's already existing, but also grow jobs in Rochester, and that can only be good for everyone.
State Senator Joe Robach, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, bud.
With Rick Rivers, well, Rick, you've been involved in the convention tourism and visiting industry in Rochester for as long as I've been in town, which is over 30 years now. We're both getting gray-haired. Now that we have this theater back available to the public again, what are the potential benefits?
Oh, I think this is fantastic for the community, for the residents here as another asset to come and get more theater, experience more theater. But there's other facilities in this building as well. With my event planning company and association management firm, this is a great place for us to bring some of our meetings and conferences for that we have with those associations, because it's a different type of venue. As was pointed out, there's a lot of people that are looking for theater style seating. This has it with all of the other amenities that are in this building, the restaurants and some banquet facilities and some other things. This is a great asset.
So it fills a hole that we had in our toolbox or inventory, whatever you want to call it, that we could offer people.
Right, exactly. That's what it does. It gives us another opportunity to sell something to somebody who needs this kind of facility that we didn't have before. Yeah, it's a complement to everything else we have.
Thinking back, as we were watching the presentation, I was thinking back in, I guess you'd have to call it the classic days of Kodak, but the company, the community, the theater all sort of drove each other, and there was a synergy. And now we can have that synergy back again. It'll be different people running it and working a bit differently, but it'll be back.
Right, I think so. And because of the businesses at Eastman Park and the younger people working here that probably haven't been they haven't been connected to what was Kodak Park, so they're not familiar necessarily with this facility, and neither are a lot of other people in the community. So this gives us a new chance to bring everybody back together for that too as well. It really is a good opportunity.
Yeah, Rick Rivers, I've got to give you a plug for your business while we're talking.
It's the Rivers Organization. We're an event planning company and association management firm, and we're starting our 25th year of operation.
Yeah, ready to book some people in here if they're interested.
Yes, we sure are.
They can find you online.
Yes, they can. Riversorg.com.
Rick, thanks for being with us.
Thank you
Good
very
to see
much.
you again.
Appreciate it.
Okay.